Are you angry, fat, and boring? You're gonna fit right in.
Hail the conquering fat ass.
Waka waka. It's Eddie Trunk.
Watch out, Beatles.
All right, we are back, and we are off to a great start with the show, a good kick-ass hour already underway, and it only gets better now as we welcome one of my favorite people in the world and one of the most legendary vocalists of all time, none other than Ronnie James Dio, joining us live from the West Coast. Hey, Ronnie.
Hi, Eddie. How you doing?
Good to hear from you. How are you?
I'm doing really well, thanks.
Been a little while since we talked last, and a lot's been going on in the Dio world since our last conversation.
Yes.
Lots to get caught up on. I won't keep you too long because I know you're real busy, but some things we need to talk about. First of all, the Maiden Tour. I got to tell you something real quick. On my website, eddietrunk.com, I put up a little poll a couple months ago and asked my listeners, what tour are you most looking forward to this summer? And your tour is one of two with Iron Maiden that is right there neck and neck for the most amount of people. And, I mean, people are just loving the fact that this is a true classic hard rock metal bill. Tell us how you came to be a part of it and, to go out with Iron Maiden and Motörhead. It's got to be great for you.
It is. We had no plans to really tour in the summertime. We were off to, actually our plans were to just go to Europe and do some festival dates. Which we're still going to do. We start on the 26th of June. We'll be there for about 2.5 weeks or so, doing some festivals in Turkey and Greece and Holland and Germany and Spain. In fact, one of them with Maiden, as a matter of fact.
Really?
And so that's all we were going to do because we had toured for quite a long time last year. A couple times in Europe, a couple times in America. We had done the Purple and Scorpions thing before that, of course. So there was a lot of work to do, and we wanted to, more or less concentrate on doing the next, the next album that we were going to do. But then coupled with the European dates, this tour came up, and it just sounded, so inviting that it really made no sense not to do it. So we decided, well, fine, let's carry on. I mean, it's not like it's 3 months; it's 6 weeks, and that's a lot of shows in 6 weeks. But it's going to be such a good tour because. Not only is the bill great, but we've much like the Scorpions and Purple tour we did before. We've known the guys in both bands just for almost forever, so it's a real nice working relationship. So we took it for because it's a great tour and because it's going to be fun with them.
Yeah, exactly. And you said something too because we talked to you around the time of that tour with Deep Purple and Scorpions, and you brought that tour into really great perspective because you said, I remember at the time, that you felt it was one of the more classy tours to be going out that summer.
Right.
And I kind of feel the same way about this package, and being an old school hard rock metal fan, just like so many of my listeners are, I know that they find it extremely refreshing too that you're getting three bands, much like the Purple Scorpions, that the audience is all unified into. It's not like there's a clunker in the group.
That's right. And it was exactly the same principle, which is why we really, did the tour with Purple and Scorpions. We like to pick and choose those kind of things because if you have a tour that's put together and it's just so blatantly opposed to itself, you end up with fans who like one thing and hate the next, and then I think like you said, Eddie, it's a real consistent tour. And it's a classy metal tour, and it's got a lot of consistency. There's not any let up from beginning to end.
Now you're in the middle slot between Motörhead and Maiden. How much time will you have? Because as proven by the new anthology, you've got an unbelievable catalog that everybody wants to hear from. How much time do you have on the Maiden tour to play?
Well, we certainly don't have nearly close enough time to do most of the songs on the anthology. It's going to be we'll probably do about 55 minutes, I would think. I mean, remembering that of course Maiden has a lot to do, with a big production and all the things they have to do, and they play for a long time. So I mean, I think I don't think that Motörhead are playing for very long at all. Which in some ways is really destructive. I mean, you really need to get out there and do it.
Right.
So we'll do the best we can within 55 minutes. We do have so much to choose from. We'll be able to do some new things this time, things we haven't done in a long, long time, which is great for us. It's a bit more faster paced set for us too than it has been in the last years. Because I think that it deserves that with this tour. It doesn't. There's not a lot of room for slowing down. I mean, of course, we'll do the classic things we have to do, and they're always accepted and should always be done. But I think we want this to be like a real up-paced kind of thing.
We just lost Ronnie James Dio. The line just totally blacked out. I think he's back. Hold on. Ronnie?
It's me again.
I don't know how that happened, but we lost you there for a second.
I know it. I was busy talking away already. I had the world sorted out. It was. If only anybody could have heard that. It would have been the answer to life. But now I've forgotten it, so it's too late.
Well, I was just telling the listeners we're having some pretty bad thunderstorms in the New York City area where we are. So I don't know if they knocked the phones out for a second, but
it probably did. Yeah.
Well, you're back, which is the important thing.
Yes.
So anyway, we were talking about the Maiden Tour. Let me ask you about. Last time we talked, the last album, Killing the Dragon, comes out. We talked about Doug Aldridge. You have this tendency for finding these great guitar players and then, unfortunately, having them go off and do other things, with Doug now playing in Whitesnake, and I hear Craig Goldy's back in the band. So tell us a little bit about that situation.
Yes, that's exactly right. And we had our problems with Craig. I think we had discussed before. And our problems were that Craig had other responsibilities that he just had to go and deal with, and it kind of, we felt let down by it. But his life is his life to deal with. Well, since then he's got that all sorted out, and as luck would have it, Doug was gone. We had committed to the tour thinking that Doug was going to do it, and that turned out not to be the case. He did go off and do the things with Whitesnake in Europe, and I believe they're going to tour in America as well. So that precluded any use of Doug. So luckily again we were able to call. We called Craig, and he was perfect timing. So Craig's back in the band, and it makes a world of difference not to have to really groom somebody else to do this in such a short time.
There was rumors about you working possibly with Warren DeMartini. Was there anything to that?
We played for a little while together, but I think we all felt that it just wasn't the right marriage. I think we were a real alien kind of force to Warren, not what he's used to doing. Great guitar player that he is. It just was the wrong situation, and we all realized that. So, we tried for a little while, but didn't work. So, luckily again, we had Craig at that point.
Ronnie, do you take it at all personally, or take offense to the fact that whether it be Vivian Campbell or now Doug Aldridge, that you kind of find these guys and bring them along to a certain level, and then they kind of leave after a certain point? Does it bother you at all? Are you supportive of it? How do you feel about it when it happens?
Well, it bothers me as a person. Sure it does. It always does. It always feels bad to get rejected, and that's what it feels like. Well, I'm going to go off and do something else, because it makes you think, well, I guess we're not good enough, or you weren't happy enough, whatever it may be. And sure, that happens, but life goes on, and it doesn't bother me after that. And as far as what they do, fine. As long as it wasn't a real knife in the heart, fine. What you got to do, you've got to do. I'd rather not play with you if you're not happy here.
Right.
And sure, it does bother me, again, personally right away, but then after that, I just deal with it.
Wow, I don't know what's going on with the phones, but we lost Ronnie James Dio again. Oh, man, this sucks. This is great conversation, and the phone's just dying on us. Ronnie, I'm sorry, man. I don't know what's happening here.
So as I was saying...
I'm so sorry. I don't know whose end this is on, but we're just losing you.
Well, we don't have any storms out here, so the only thing we have is I don't think that California's paid one of its bills in a while, so that could be that one,
Well, I won't keep you much longer.
It's okay, man. It's not a problem at all.
Yeah, I hate to do that to you.
Busting up like that. But anyway, I don't feel like I've groomed these guys. They're good in the first place. I just teach them the way that we do things, and sometimes that helps and rubs off and makes them better at some point. But if they have to go on, they have to go on. I don't take that personally. Good for them. What they have to do, they have to do. As long as our band is happening, that's all I care about.
Fair enough. Before we lose you again, and we want to get you in here, of course, live, and we won't have these problems next time, but
okay.
When you're in New York. But real quick, on the anthology CD, that's out now, the 2-CD set, the DVD, and another studio album. What can you tell us about all three? Obviously, on the anthology, it looks like on this you were fairly involved, and it features music from all the bands you've been a part of.
Well, my involvement was just saying yes. Well, nice choices, and you're right. It goes from Elf to Rainbow to Sabbath to Dio, so it covers a lot of ground. You can't put everything on there, of course. But there are 29 tracks on it, and I thought that the choices were really excellent. You never can get all the things you want on there, but I thought the choices were really good. And the DVD, of course, we did at Roseland the last time we played in the city.
And when will that be out?
That should be in July.
Okay. And any work on a new studio album? Any target date for something new?
No, that'll be after all the touring's done, and then we really will take the time away and start and do the next project, which was always again going to be Magica 2 and 3, which is going to take a long time.
Right.
So we're not in a rush to do something that's that we want to be good, and we also have the anthology and the DVD there to keep people to hopefully to remember us, that we're still around, and we always will be, I guess.
Well, thank God for that, man, because it is always great to have you putting out all this great stuff and see you out there on the road, and it's just always good to hear from you.
Oh, thanks a lot, Eddie, and we'll see everybody out on the road there in all the states that we're going to go to, and just everybody have a look at it. It's going to be a great tour, and thanks for letting us mention it to everybody, Ed.
Yeah, I know that my audience is totally pumped for that. I mean, Maiden, Dio, Motörhead, that's kind of like a dream that you wake up and you think you're going to hear a bill like that, and
oh, that's great.
It came true, and everybody's extremely pumped about it, so that is awesome. I'll let you go, Ronnie. Give me one track from the anthology from either of the discs that you want me to play.
Okay, let's see. Why don't you play Sign of the Southern Cross?
A great one from the Mob Rules. Any recollections about this before we hit it?
Just remember writing this song, and it was just a joy to write it. I mean, it just went so well. We wanted something that was, in the vein of a Heaven and Hell and that kind of feel, and it was Sign of the Southern Cross, and I had the title for a while and put it to what we wrote, and it was just magic. It just really worked out well. It is
a great tune from a great record, a great couple records there that you did with Sabbath, and I was talking about this last week. I played Heaven and Hell, and I just said the stuff that you did with Sabbath just doesn't get nearly the acclaim it should, because those two records are just unbelievable pieces of work. You got to be really proud of them.
Oh, I am. I absolutely am. But I think it's time that they put that band in the Hall of Fame. Not with me, but with Ozzy and Billy and Tony and Geese. I mean, I think it's about time. I mean, after all that they created, I think they deserve to be in before the Clash. I think, but
Well, there's a lot. You can go on and on with that debate. There's a ton of bands you could go on with about that.
True, but that's one special one that I think really deserves to be there just because of what they created.
And don't shortchange yourself, man. You should be up there too, because you kept it alive, Ronnie.
Well, no, I just enjoy doing it.
But you stepped in and you kept the fire going with those guys. So
well, that's cool too. But you only get so many of the band that can get into that, and I think they deserve it. I'm just happy that I was able to do that stuff with them. It was great music. It'll always be great music, and I get a chance to play it every time we play live. So that's all that counts to me.
There you go. And that's the only way you're going to hear it is if you do it.
You got it, Phil.
Ronnie, it's a pleasure as always, man.
Thanks, Ed.
Thank you so much.
I'll see you soon.
Great.
Take care.